Hello everyone, let's start the class. In this class we will learn about counters. Counters in Japanese is a different phenomena which is used to measure different object. In English or in Hindi we usually say 1 pen, 2 books, 3 bags, but in Japanese they have different suffix for every object when they are measuring in the quantity. We say like a dozen is 12, so give me banana 1 dozen. In Japanese they count, dozen is the counter here, right? In Japanese they have those kind of counters for every object. So if I am saying 1 pen, it is ippon. When I am saying 1 paper, it is ichimai. When I am saying 1 air conditioner, it will be ichidai. So different object has different counters in Japanese. So we'll learn about it and we'll get to know how the counters have been decided for different object. The first counter which we'll do is mai. The counter mai is used for any flat object, which would include clothes, paper, etc. Now we have learned the numbers, right? Ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, sechi, hachi, ku, ju. Now I'll write it in hiragana. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, shichi or nana, then hachi, then ku or q, then ju. Now if we want to use the counter mai will get continued with every number. Ichimai, nimai, sanmai, gomai, rokumai, sichimai, hachimai, kumai, jumai. From top to bottom, mai will get repeated with every number. Now how to use these counters in a sentence? Let's do it. If I say I have 2 paper is like A4 sheet, any paper. So I have 2 paper. First let's say I have papers. Then it will be watashi wa. Watashi wa. Paper in Japanese is kami. Kami ga. First we'll say I have papers. Kami ga arimasu. Now if we add I have 2 papers, as a number, then we'll put it like watashi wa kami ga ni mai. Okay, we can also write in hiragana both. Ni mai arimasu. Watashi wa kami ga ni mai arimasu. Now if we say I have 5 western dress. I have 5 western dresses. Now western dress in Japanese is yofuku. So watashi wa yofuku ga how many? 5. So 5 is go and mai will come. Watashi wa yofuku ga go mai arimasu. So from 1 to 10 or any other number also, the mai will get continued. Okay. The second counter which we will learn is dai. Dai is the suffix as a counter for electronic object. For example, TV, laptop, fridge or anything. Okay, so on. So if I say I have 2 laptops, so how we will say that? Watashi wa laptop. Okay, in Japanese laptop is pa so kon. Katakana pasokon is for laptop. So watashi wa pasokon ga how many? I have 2. Then ni dai. Dai is the number. Sorry, ni is the number. Dai is the counter. Arimasu. Okay. Next is TV. Okay. So if I say there are 3 television at my home. Okay. There are 3 television in the house. 3 in my house. So uchi ni, instead of saying watashi no uchi, you can also say uchi, because uchi will refer to the house and you can only talk about your house in that sense. Otherwise you will have to refer about some other person in that person's house. Okay, so uchi ni TV, again katakana, tere bi. Uchi ni tere bi ga how many? 3. You can also write the kanji san dai arimasu. Okay, uchi ni tere bi ga san dai arimasu. Or you can say some mechanical object also, like car. If you want to say my father has 2 cars. Okay, my father has 2 cars. Then my father is chichi wa kuruma ga how many? 2. So ni dai arimasu. Okay, next counter we'll do is for bird. Wa is the counter for birds. Okay, so again we'll use from 1 to 10 or any number and add wa as a suffix to count. So if I say there is a bird in the nest, there is 1 bird in the nest. Nest in Japanese is called su. Su ni. Ni as in location. Su ni. Bird will be tori. Tori ga. How many? 1. Ichi wa imasu. Okay. Su ni tori ga ichi wa arimasu. Suppose we want to say there are many birds, lot of birds in the garden. Okay. So there are lot of birds in the garden. Garden is niwa. Niwa ni tori ga takusan imasu. Now when we are saying takusan, which is many, a lot, we are not using wa. Why? All the counters are used with definite numbers and not the indefinite numbers. Okay, so when we are saying takusan, there are many, but we have not counted them. So number is not definite. Okay, so there are few, there are many, there are lot of. We will not use counter with those vocabularies. Next counter will be nin. In the last class we did the kanji for person, and that was hito, and that has one reading as nin. So now if we want to use person's counter, we will use nin. But there are two exceptions. For one person, ichi and hito will read this as hitori. One person will be hitori, and second is two person. Okay, or two people. Then kanji for ni and then hito, and it will be read as futari. Futari is for two people. Other than that, from 1 to n numbers, we will use nin. So when there is 3 and person, it will be san nin. When there is 4 people, it will be yonin. When there are 5, gonin, and it will continue like this. So now let's make an example. There are 6 people in the classroom. So how we will say that? Classroom is kyoshitsu. Kyoshitsu ni, or first we can introduce people. Kyoshitsu ni hito ga, how many? 6. So it will be roku nin imasu. Imasu because it is a living being. Kyoshitsu ni hito ga roku nin imasu. Next we can take one more example. How many people are there if we want to put the question? Okay, how many students are there? Are there in the classroom? So classroom is again kyoshitsu. Kyoshitsu ni Gakse, which is student. Gakse ga, how many. So how many is for the person. We will use nan, nin. Nan is for question, nin is for the counter. Kyoshitsu ni gakse ga nan nin imasu ka? Kyoshitsu ni gakse ga nan nin imasu ka? So we can reply Kyoshitsu ni hito or gakse ga 6 nin imasu. Okay, so we can just replace hito with the gakse and we can reply the same. Now another counter we will do, and that is tsu. Okay, for any small object or for the things which, for which we don't know the counter, which is not popular, we can count it using tsu, and it has a different reading from 1 to 10. If it is 1, it will be hitotsu. If it is 2, it will be futatsu. If it is 3, it will be mitsu. When it is 4, it will be yotsu. 5 is called itsutsu. 6 will be mutsu. 7 will be nanatsu. 8 will be yatsu. 9 we can say kokonotsu, and for 10 to. These counters will be used for any small object. Suppose we are talking about apple. There is an apple on the table. 1 apple will be hitotsu. We'll say there are 2 toys on the chair. 2 will be futatsu. So if I want to say there are 2 apples in my bag. Okay, so let's see the example. So my bag will be watashi no kaban ni. Location: apples are called ringo in Japanese. Watashi no kaban ni ringo ga how many? 2. So 2 is called futatsu. So we'll write ringo ga futatsu arimasu. Watashi no kaban ni ringo ga futatsu arimasu. Now if we can take some more example. Suppose we are talking about erasers. Eraser is like keshigomu, or we are talking about some other small object like key, which is called kagi. So I have 3 keys. Okay, if you say so, watashi wa kagi ga mitsu. Sorry, 3 hitotsu, futatsu and mitsu. Mitsu arimasu. This is how we will use counters in Japanese. Now let's start the new pattern, and that pattern is Houshi. When we want to put our desire, express our what we want, we'll use pattern Houshi. Okay, Hoshi comes after any noun. That is noun ga, hoshi, this. Okay, we can put our expressions using this pattern. Now, if I say I like cars, so I'll add kuruma in the sentence. Kuruma. So it is a noun. Kuruma ga hoshii desu. Watashi wa kuruma ga hoshii desu. Anata wa nani ga hoshii desu ka? Or we can avoid using anata, we can take any name. Tanaka-san wa nani ga hoshii desu ka? So nani, suppose we have answered it like watashi wa kuruma ga hoshii desu. Tanaka-san wa so that person can also reply. Tanaka can reply watashi wa uchi ga hoshii desu. Watashi wa uchi ga hoshii desu. Okay. You can again ask, donna uchi ga hoshii desu ka? Donna. Donna is like what kind of, to know about more about the things he wants to have. So donna uchi ga hoshii desu ka? Donna uchi ga hoshii desu ka? Then that person can use some adjective and explain about it. Okay, so now Tanaka can explain, I want a big house, I want a spacious house. So hiroi, hiroi is spacious, wide. Okay, hiroi uchi ga hoshii desu. Okay, so I want a spacious house. The house I have is not a very spacious house, it's a very narrow house. So how he can say, ima no uchi wa semai desu kara. Kara we did in last classes, and that is why it means, right? So semai is narrow. So the current house which I am living in is narrow, so I want a more big or spacious house. So this is how we use hoshii desu. Now if you want to put hoshi in a negative form, I don't want that, how will you use that? Hoshi will cut e and add kunai. So hoshi is treated as e type adjective. Okay, and it will become negative. So if I say, A-san nani ga hoshii desu ka? And the person can reply, I don't want anything. Okay, if the teacher is asking, suppose sensei has asked, A-san nani ga hoshii desu ka? And A-san is saying, I don't want anything. Okay, watashi wa nanimo, nanimo is nothing, nanimo hoshi kunai desu. I want nothing. So this hoshi kunai is actually negative. I don't want anything. You can also put some object over here. I don't want a car, I don't want a new dress, I don't want anything. Okay, so when you say I don't want a car, suppose the A san or some B san is saying I don't want a car, then watashi wa new car, atarashii kuruma ga hoshiku nai desu. I don't want a new car. So this pattern Houshi is used to express your desire about object, about things you want. Okay, so we will do it till here, and in the next class we'll continue from here. Thank you.